I'd like now to invite Kory Hollingsworth to the stage.
Pleasure of speaking in front of. Even so, Miss Kessel is 10 times more intimidating in class when we're giving speeches. As I began to write this speech, a good friend once told me it can take one of three forms: humorous, inspirational, or nostalgic. So naturally, I will try my best to combine all three. Challenge accepted. The year was 1775. British armies were advancing towards New England, and Paul Revere set out on his famous midnight ride to warn the colonists. Now I pose a question to you all. What if Paul Revere had had Twitter? OMG, the British are coming! LOL! In a new age of technology, information travels rapidly. Many of my fellow classmen know that as an English student, I'm very talented at finding allusions and symbols in our books. Rightfully so. In Jerusalem, there is a place known as the Wailing Wall. I believe, however, I have found the 21st century equivalent. We know it as Facebook. During the past few years, IB students have clung to the Facebook to ask it questions regarding homework, proper word count, or correct citations. But what would high school be without a little healthy procrastination? This is a cultural element seen in any level of study. As a class of graduating seniors, we are the next generation to create the innovations of tomorrow, the technology that will solve the world's problems. Now, I'm not saying we should all go purchase turtlenecks and become the next Steve Jobs, because any professional field, no matter how different, needs the influence of technology, and vice versa. Alright, it's time to drop some pop culture and science fiction allusions in here. If you get lost or confused, it's only going to get worse. But for people who know me, you'll fit right in. The TV screenwriter Gene Roddenberry was famous for creating the science fiction series Star Trek in the 1960s. The characters were seen with strange technology, but now, almost 50 years later, those technologies have been taken and turned into tablets, Bluetooth, and Skype. Although Gene Roddenberry was a writer, he was a visionary for many of the technologies we use today. It may not even be foolish to say we'll find ourselves flying around in Iron Man suits at our 50th class reunion, which would be pretty sweet. I myself don't plan on creating the technology of tomorrow, but if one of us sitting in this room were to dream big and create a time machine, this should be the time and place they come first. That's a bummer. Perhaps I should leave time travel to the good doctor. Now with technology, we need to be careful with how we use it. Raise of hands. How many of us have been caught playing Angry Birds during a lecture on endoplasmic reticulum for the War of 1812? Hands? Anyone? Looking to the future, I'm hopeful of what will become of us. Who will sell a platinum album, an Oscar, or an Olympic gold medal? Connor Ackerman. Sorry, it's this gosh darn senioritis, but I'm sure it'll go away in about 15 minutes. As I stand here trying my best to capture everyone's final thoughts of high school, it has occurred to me that two people cannot summarize everyone's thought of the last 4 incredible years at Mount Rainier. In the past 5 minutes, I've quoted Star Trek, iPhone apps, even Iron Man, letting my inner geek reveal himself to you all. But it's because of who I am. DJ asked us, who are we? Well, I know who I am. I'm that guy loudly humming Michael Bublé in the hallway, who can quote Ian Fleming's Goldfinger with Sean Connery, writing novels about espionage. If I want to be a screenwriter and director, how can I succeed if I hide who I am? High school has taught us to hide what others might think is lame or uncool. If any of us hide who we really are, how can any of us expect to succeed in the future? Writing this speech, I didn't know what shape it would take or how I would send an inspirational message, especially following the truly amazing DJ. Love you, bro. You're over there, right? Excuse me. But in a world where information travels rapidly, why spend time in flourished words when all we want is to turn our tassels and not toss our hats? As long as we know where we've been, where we are, and where we are going, then the world is ours to change. I hope this is not the last graduation any of you attend, whether it is from a university, military, or even the graduation of your future children. Remember this day and the fulfilling sense of pride it has brought you to know what we have accomplished in the last 12 years of our education. Now, before I turn things back over to our wonderful choir, I have one last illusion to capture my thoughts of our senior class. Okay. In the dimly lit room of New York known as McLaren's, a well-dressed gentleman once said to his friends, "I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of how awesome I am." And it is with you I say to Mountaineer graduating class of 2012, I have gone deaf to the sound of how awesome we all are. True story. To the class of 2012,